As free-to-play athletes, we're a load. With having mass, we are considered a load, but throughout the rest of the earth, there are many other loads that we need to deal with and that we want to deal with. Sometimes I come upon a load and I realize in order to go further, I have to move that load. That load becomes a resistance to my movement. Sometimes the load is a very precious load that I want to move. It's my grandchild who's on the ground, and I literally want to be able to bend over and pick up my grandchild and bring that load closer to my load. However, when we take a look at loads, we have to realize that a load is not a load is not a load. In other words, when we take a look at our environment in free-to-play, we want our loads to be as authentic as possible. Therefore, we begin controlling this load of our human body. We first of all train ourselves to be able to control this load along all the angles and all the verticalities and all the distance or the horizontal components. Then we start taking advantage of the physics of loads, and we say, so what loads are out there? Well, the major loads that are out there are what we call free weights. A rock that I need to be able to move, a box that I need to pick up. And by a free weight load, we simply mean if we let that thing go, it's going to be just like our body, just like this human object. It's going to be attracted to the center of the earth by gravity. However, we also know that sometimes, especially in exercise environments, we put together what we would call artificial loads. We have a load of a bungee cord. That bungee cord's pulling me, it's loading me a certain way, and I have to decelerate that and then bring that back. The load of something that's spring-loaded. I'm pushing against a spring, the resistance of a spring, so it has what we would call a spring-loaded. Sometimes it's a load of a pulley system that the pulley gives it a different angle, but the weight is basically responding to gravity. So a load isn't a load isn't a load, and also dependent upon the load, how we apply the load to our load. So for instance, I could apply a load and move it with my hand, but I could also apply the same load to my shoulder. It's going to have a significantly different reaction, a different purpose, a different benefit to my body. Therefore, understanding the truths of loads, we ask ourselves strategically, our strategy needs to be to understand the different types of loads and the different applications of loads, and we then take a strategy a step further and say, so what is the purpose of the load in order to integrate it with this technique? Loads are a significant tweak. They're something that we can do to change the movement dramatically, and we need to scratch our head constantly and say, is this the appropriate load for the appropriate response that I want in the chain reaction, in the movement of that particular activity?